Good evening, everyone. How are we doing? Hope everybody is well this evening. Is that on? It is on. Not as bright, maybe, as it should be. Yeah, it might be a bit bright now. Um. So yeah, we have a few Christmas things up. I need to put another Christmas thing up that side of me, but you probably can't see the other yoke that's yeah beside me. That yoke's there. But yeah, there's not enough space here. My cow's up here behind me. There's not much space, and obviously I need a bit of space for my mugs and stuff like that, bits of paper and stuff like that. So there's not much things you can put. I should probably move this computer. I have to stop moving the computer up a bit more because, like the other night, I was crippled because it was that long bending into the computer, so I was crippled with it. Like it was terrible for nearly 12 hours, 13 hours, just there, like literally hunched over like this. It's very bad because the reason why I have this chair is supposed to put your weight onto the back of it and not really, be bending over, which I should move the chair over a bit. Let's move these over. That's what I should be doing. I'm a bit closer now to the because my back was pretty sore after doing that for 12 hours. Because usually when I'm here, I'm tricking away this or doing something there or writing something there. Usually I'm just like this. I'm not like up straight compared to like what I was doing with the last live stream. So it's stuck into the computer. Like the chair was all the way back at the wall, and me literally stuck into the computer. So my back was pretty sore after because that was literally me for 13 hours looking into it. So that was pretty bad on my back because I'm not used to them. Usually when I'm here, I'm usually sitting up straight like this, which is not as bad. But bending over like that for 13 or 12 hours is not that great. Um, so so we have to see about getting a new table or something because it'd be nice to have a table, like a table that goes this way too, so I can put it in front of me, so I wouldn't have to bend that much. But it'll be a while before we get that on the go. Because it was pretty sore now. I wouldn't be mentioned. That's why I wasn't live the other day. And because I got really sick of the whole politics things, because especially the Cavan Mulligan bit, it was going on for hours. But hello, Brian, sorry. Um, yeah, so it was the night after the election. And all through the house was quiet. But yeah, how are we all doing? Apart from all the ants and waving over. How are we keeping? How's our Wednesday going? Uh, would you believe only a few more days into Christmas, December the 4th, as we speak? Crazy to take. Hello, Jared. Walking in the buildings, like, yeah, well, eventually you're like when you get like the way the government are saying they want people to walk to the 70. That's what they want to do. Like I don't know what a builder will be able to walk into the 70. Like I know a few people who are self-employed, they do odd jobs, etc., brickwork, tiling, etc., etc. And them physical jobs, they're getting a town in their 50s now. My uncle's one of them's an uncle of mine. He's 50 now. I don't think he'll be able to do it for another 10 years because he can feel in his back. He can't really get up as quick. Like after a few years, it does tear your back to bits, laying bricks, etc., etc. But the older you get, it's harder to get up. I suppose things like that. So but no, that's what they want people to do. They want people to walk into 70, and I don't think for them manual jobs. Always tricking away the computer, you can walk to your 70, but at them manual jobs, you couldn't do it. Um, um, because you'd be lucky, because your back will go eventually doing them manual labour works. Because it's hard work now, doing that kind of work quickly and etc. etc. It's tough work. And even walking on the roads, etc. It's tough work. You get the cold, flu, etc. You're getting drowned. Like today, like days like this, you get drowned. A lot of people wouldn't want that. They wanted the cushy number in the office, with a pen, you know. Anyway, sorry, I'm ranting on. I'm ranting on. But no, yeah, we can really get you back. But yeah. No, because it was pretty bad. Now, I wouldn't be mentioning the voting for was pretty bad because literally for all the time, because it was literally live for about 14 hours or 15 hours, and all the time it was literally like this into the computer. So it does affect your back, particularly when you're not used to, you're not used to sitting here. Like usually if I'm here, I'm writing something at home, looking up something on the computer or doing something. Like usually I'm only sitting up like this. Like all that time I was like this. So it was holding my upper back. It was up in this part of my back. And it was quite bad because I nearly couldn't do anything because it was that bad at one stage. See, I'm used to moving around too, and I'm at work and stuff. I'm moving around, and so I never really sit down and do that kind of thing. If that makes sense. So that's why I felt it. Yeah, well, pretty much they want people to walk into the drop dead, pretty much. That's pretty much what they want. But see, people are getting older, as they said themselves. People are getting older, they're living longer and bigger pensions. That the government paying out a huge amount of money in pensions, etc., etc. So it's a ticking time bomb, I suppose, too, because the amount of money, particularly in the civil service, etc., etc., is a time bomb, really. It's that much money because people are living longer. People are living into their 80s and 90s, which is a good thing. I'm sure people agree. Compared to back in the day where people only lived to the 50s, and even that to 40s, some people didn't even live past the teens. It's a good thing that people are living longer. Um, but I don't think, again, this is always my opinion. I don't think people should walk themselves to death. Like people are already doing that, them like already in their 30s, trying to afford a house they never can buy and trying to pay off the bank, etc. Etc. They're walking themselves into the grave. Um, people shouldn't really be doing that because again, it's about joy in life. That's what I think. Obviously, it's important to walk, etc., etc. It's important to have an income, etc., etc. But I think too much people more worried about owning stuff, etc., etc. Than enjoying what's around them, etc., etc. Um, you know. Anyway, I'm rambling on. So forgive me for that. But anyway, how are we doing? Sorry, I know I'm rambling. So we get started now in a minute or two. The usual crack. We'll wait a few minutes before we get started. We have a good bit to discuss, obviously, with the election just gone by. And other stuff too. Uh, so yeah, thankfully the Count and Calf and Mullen has finished. I thought we'd be still here today waiting for the Count and Calf and Mullen. Hello, Andrew. How are we keeping? Hello from Carlo. Hope all is well down in Carlo. Hope everything's well down there. Um, uh, Thoughts in South Korea? Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be a military coup. The president of South Korea was trying to take over the government, I suppose. It seems a bit like it's all quieted down now. It's all been disbanded, etc., etc. So it seemed like because again it was in the middle of the night. It was 11 o'clock at night when he came out and said it. So I presume he just wanted total power, like he wanted to take over South Korea altogether. Because currently the South Korean government is a minority government. They don't have the full, support. They can't get through things through parliament, etc., etc. Um, so I presume he just wanted to coup the whole government, a coup d'état, but it didn't work out. Only for people's fast reaction in the parliament, I suppose, the parliamentaries over there. Only for their fast reaction, it would have been coup. Um, oh yeah, but that never happened. There's that much. Like you look at North Korea, etc., etc. You look at the poverty, etc., etc. And then you look at South Korea. It's very well developed, etc., etc. And then obviously communism and stuff like that. It's going to be very tough now. It never will happen in probably our lifetimes. It's something that's very deep rooted now, I suppose. And I don't think there would be a peaceful way of kind of reunifying the two Koreas. That's what I think. I don't think so. Yeah, it could be more difficult because you see in North Korea, like you look at North Korea from space. I often seen these like photos and stuff of North Korea in space. There's no lights at all. There's no lights, and then you look at South Korea with this whole huge amount of lights. Basically, people are living in poverty in North Korea. And basically, there's nothing basically there because all the money goes to the military, and there's nothing for anybody else. So people just live in squalor. Compared to when you look at South Korea, there's big skyscrapers and stuff, and industry, etc., etc. And in North Korea, there's nothing. You know, because it's just that backwards. If that makes any sense, and just this total control over everything. Like everything. Like there's tourists that go there and stuff like that, and they're told what to see and what to say, and etc. etc. Hello, everyone. I don't know if they said hello to you. Hello. Photography opposite, yeah. um, I'm sure people do. Like the two parts of Korea, I'm sure want to reunify Korea, but it's going to be so difficult. It's particularly because it's so embedded now. Like particularly in the north, not so much in the south. It's going to be very difficult because they're pretty much indoctrinated to listen to Kim Jong Un, etc., etc. And they know really nothing else because they don't see outside, like they don't know what's happening in Ireland. Like if we went over to North Korea now in the morning and asked a random North Korean on the street, what's happened. They maybe often heard of Ireland, but they don't know what's happening. They don't know what's going on in Ireland, etc., etc. The same, they wouldn't know what's going on in Japan. They only know what's happening in Korea. So they wouldn't be aware of it. The only thing they ever knew and the only place they ever were was in North Korea, So that's what I'm trying to say. So it'll be quite difficult, and it's quite difficult to get them people out of that mindset, etc., because they were indoctrinated pretty much into that. So it'll be pretty hard, because pretty much there's no outside world connection to North Korea, pretty much. It's a long story. We could talk about it all day, but it's the mindset is supposed to indoctrinate. It's the same as the Japanese probably in the Second World War, or before the Second World War. Pretty much indoctrinated into thinking the emperor was, etc. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But if you're caught doing it, it's the end of you, unfortunately. No, because it's pretty tough. We don't even know half of the stuff that's going on in North Korea. Like hearing about some people who escaped North Korea, etc. They're hearing them out of torture and stuff like that going on. It's like a hell on earth, to be totally honest. So, and that's how North Korea is still the way it is, because the people are so frightened to rise up and to speak out, etc. Because any pretty much any disobedience is pretty much fatal. Like it's just an iron grip, basically. What's happening? So at least we have to be appreciated. I know we often say about Ireland being worse than North Korea, etc., but at least it's not that bad here yet. Focus on the yet, but at least because North Korea does not have hope to be able to even utter anything against the Communist Party of Korea, etc. So at least we have that to be thankful for. Because people in North Korea could only dream to have a voice to speak out and to say something. Yeah, with Japan, it's pretty much the same boat as us too. It's an elderly population, etc. Like you see in Japan, it's even worse than here. The birth rates are so low in Japan. Like it's 100 times worse than in Europe, to be totally honest. So that's what's happening. Anyway, we get started into other things. Hello, Greenpeace. I don't know if I say hello to you. Hello, sorry, I'm too busy rambling on. See, I have to start focusing. Don't know why this is lagging a bit. So it's lagging a bit for some reason tonight. Yeah, I seen that earlier on. We get around to that. She be the Minister for Justice again, right? They say so. Sorry, I meant to say hello to you. I was too busy rambling on. See, when I'm rambling on, I always forget the look at the chat, etc. So just start off with this. Now, I'm not suggesting the elections rigged or anything like that, but pretty much, 500,000 people, and as you know, Ireland only has a population of 5.5 million, and 3.5 million are registered to vote. So 500,000 of that. So if you take that, probably about 3 million, a bit under 2.9 million, maybe something like that. So obviously, this is people that have died, people have moved away, etc. So it is quite a lot of number. Like I was like, obviously in any election, there's obviously people who registered that died, etc., that didn't get knocked off it, or people that moved away. Take for example, there's probably people I know who went to, who were in this village. Take for example, when I was growing up, etc., moved away. I knew a few of them that moved away. They were in their 30s and 40s, and they moved away to another country. They probably never thought about, knocking themselves out of the register, because who would think about it? Like there's a person that died a few years ago. Like this is back in the family care referendum, and he got his voting card, and him dead a few years. If that makes sense, because nobody ever thought to knock him off the register. Nobody ever thought to ring. His family never thought to contact the office of the register to say that the fellow was dead, and he couldn't vote. But he basically got a voting card for the family care referendum. Because again, if your loved one just died, say your father, God forbid, died, or your mother, God forbid, died, or your sister, the last thing you think about is contacting, have to knock them off the register. Nobody would ever think about that. Like nobody would ever do that. So a lot of them cases, probably the majority of these people, probably 100,000 or so, probably people that are deceased, etc., they were never knocked off it, and then probably another maybe 30,000 have probably moved away, or 50,000 have moved away, and that was it. But I don't know. It's an awful lot of number. It's an awful lot of people, I suppose. I'm trying to say. But obviously, we do need to look at this because we need to be as accurate as possible. Obviously, we can't be always accurate. No country could be accurate in terms of getting anybody that's not on the register, off the register, if people are not supposed to be on it, or whatever the case may be. There's nothing really you can do. You can do it bad, but obviously it shouldn't be this number. It should be about 20,000 at most, which sounds a lot. But comparing to this number, there's something very wrong when you see something like this. But I don't think the election was rigged, because if it was rigged, that 500,000 be going to Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. So I don't think so. In that regard, no people will say that's rigged, etc., etc. And then I can see in a few cases, maybe you could argue there's something suspicious happening in some cases. Something, and not in all cases now, because it seems like it was a fair enough election. Nothing really out towards, as far as I can see, I've seen nothing really to suggest that. But yeah, it's quite a lot, and this is from the people over the election themselves, that it's quite a lot, especially the 500,000, 500,000 people. Like, you think about even a small country like ours, think for example the United States, you would expect that, but it shouldn't be this high, basically. And hopefully it's not high in the next election, whatever the presidential election next. So hopefully be down to 100,000 at least, because it has to be as accurate as possible, and that's what I think it should be. I probably missed. Hello again. Sorry, it's lagging a bit tonight. Don't know why it's doing that. Sometimes it lags and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. It's weird, and even though there's a full bar of internet, etc., so I don't get it. Don't get what's the problem with this. No. Hello, Yusuf. How you going? How are we doing? Yeah, it's been pissy day. Got drowned again for the 90th time this year. Yeah, pissy day. It's just, that's pretty much it. Just shit weather, pretty much. Yeah, it's just not the greatest weather to be doing much outside anyway in this weather. So yeah, but I suppose what do you expect from the winter? Supposedly there's supposed to be snow coming at Christmas. Supposedly around that time. Hopefully there is. It's always nice to have a bit of snow at Christmas morning. We see what happens. Hopefully, please God away. Now, this yoke. So Norma Foley is coming out with excuses now. Well, she won the election. Like, she got in, basically. I don't know how she got in. I don't know what people were thinking or what kind of drugs they were smoking. But Norma Foley, gets into the Dáil. I don't know. And again, God forbid if she's Minister of Education. Again, God forbid. But she probably will be. Oh, God forbid she be Minister of Finance. Because apparently, like, listen to this bit. Like, if you think the country's not going to go bankrupt, you have to think again for a second. Because there was a thing said before, within Fianna Fáil before the election, this is before the election, that Norma Foley would make a great finance minister, if Fianna Fáil got back into government. So, the country's going to be fucking wrecked. Because, nothing this woman does is any good. But long story short, this should say Norma Foley says truth has made a difference in their campaign. The truth, because everything usually is disinformation with Norma Foley is usually true. That's what the thing is. It's usually true. So I should say the truth made a difference in our campaign, because people were pointing out the truth, what Norma Foley was up to. So that made a difference. But, it made it difficult, may I say. But it didn't make a difficult, because she got 10,000 votes, so give or take, around that. So I don't know why people voted for her. What were they thinking? But long story short, one TD I didn't want to see come back was this one, along with Helen McAtee and a few others. But unfortunately, she came back. So unfortunately, that's the sad reality, that she is probably going to be the Minister of Education, the Minister for Finance, God forbid. Because that's what was said by Fianna Fáil before the election. So, yes. Yeah, so the disinformation, Norma Foley herself is disinformation, to be totally honest. I could think of many things. Remember the Leaving Cert to carry on. There was disinformation every day of the week, because she was saying we're going to have the Leaving Cert, etc., etc. Then she said no, we're not. And then she disappeared for a few weeks, and then she came back and said no, we're going to do predicted grades. So she's full of disinformation. Hello, sorry about that. I don't know if anybody's still here. Can you still hear me? I happened to click the button to turn it off by mistake, like the pause it. So that's what happened pretty much. So I don't know if you can still hear me. So it's my fault. Sorry, I clicked the button to turn off the stream. Well, the pause, I didn't even know there was a button to pause it. Yeah, sorry, but that's my fault, because that's the first time I ever done that, would you believe? That I ever clicked the button. And all the time I'm doing this, that's the first time I've ever done it. Everything's pretty broken, it looks like, my end. So apologies about that. So it's my fault that I thank you, everyone. Sorry about that. Apologies again. It's my fault for clicking the button by mistake, because I was moving over to another bar and I happened just to click the wrong bar and I knocked myself off. So it was completely gone, like, for a few minutes. Like, I don't know what happened. I was trying to connect it back. Like, did I hit it by mistake? Did you see anything that I was doing before, like, for the last 3 minutes? It's not my no, it's my fault. I clicked the wall because I actually did it. Like I actually did it by mistake. Hopefully everything's fine now. Hopefully I haven't fucked it. I shouldn't have, but I probably would have killed the stream, unfortunately. It probably has killed the stream, so yeah, so it probably has, unfortunately. I don't know if the notification would still be there. I'm sure people would see it live. Yeah, so okay, so everything seems to be fine, yeah. So I don't know, did you see anything? Yeah. Yeah, so it was just going around, yeah. So as soon as I clicked the button, it just went around. That was okay. Because I thought it was still live for a few minutes when I was done that. Like it didn't show it was live on it, so I don't know. So yeah, no, it was my fault because I actually did. Like I wouldn't lie to you. It'd be different if I said the internet cut off, but I actually did click it. I tell you what, I clicked by mistake, which is my own fault. It's the first time I've ever done that, would you believe? Because I was trying to find. I was going to talk about something else, so I was over here and up here, and I went over to this, and I happened to click the X, and that's what fucked me. So it turned off everything, which is the first time I've ever done that. Because I meant to move over to another tab, I suppose, and I don't know why I went all over here, and that's what happened. So I clicked the X, and then it just kind of paused the stream. So apologies about that. That's the first time I've ever done that, just to say. We're back for a second, so apologies about that. I know there probably was a few people here left now, because they probably thought the stream was gone. So apologies about that. But I'm sure they'll probably pop back in if they see it back on. But that's okay. I thought I would have to start the whole stream again. I was going to be like, oh no. But at least it could reconnect. So that was it. So yeah, that's okay. That was fine. At least it's back now, and I'm just making sure that everything else is fine. That I haven't fucked something else up. So give me a second just to check that I have everything else. All my settings. I find that I didn't fuck up any setting or something like that. Seems to be all okay. Like it doesn't seem like I've hit anything by mistake. No, haven't. It seems to be fine. The other settings seem to be good enough. There's one thing that's changed, but I know what it's for. It's fine. No, it's fine. I think it was always like that setting, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter too much. And I put back on music. Ooh, what have I done now? Messing up the place. Yeah, apologies about this. All blue, yes, all blue, like the usual. Like, you think this is a coincidence? I always wear these kind of shorts, blue and all that. Like every video is blue. It's blue. Sometimes a red short, but blue most of the time. Blue. Like every blue, it's always blue. Like notice that. Don't ever notice that, but it is the truth. It's not by mistake. Now, first of all, I don't know why this fellow follows me. But I don't know why he follows me. He must be watching me very closely. But yeah, long story short, the egg has fallen. The egg has fallen. Stephen Donnelly is gone. This woman looks. I don't know what. This woman looks very upset, and this man looks like he's upset too. But long story short, Stephen Donnelly's gone. It's not much loss. Nobody really cares. So that's the biggest government loss, pretty much, that Stephen Donnelly's gone. Apart, then Catherine Martin, of course, the Minister of Media. But pretty much the biggest loss for the government, Fianna Fáil particularly, is Stephen Donnelly. But there's not much loss. He's gone for good now. He'll probably get a job in the Shannon. He'd be put into a time at home. But long story short, there's not much loss. Nobody lose any sleep over Stephen Donnelly losing his seat. So it's about time, to be totally honest. He's given the boot. So it's about time. So nobody's going to cry for him, pretty much, I'm trying to say. So, yeah, pretty much he's gone. So that's a good thing to say that he's gone. Now, just going to this. This is to do with the first preference votes. I just wanted to show you this. So this is to do with the first preference votes from now, like, from the last election. I'll just show you this now. Just to show you. Because I thought it was interesting, like the first preference votes. You can see where Sinn Féin was in the last election. This is 2020 to grey. So look at that big drop for Sinn Féin. I still have to make a video talking about Sinn Féin, but I do think immigration had a role to play in Sinn Féin. Because you can see the drop, 24.5%. It's on 19% today. So you can see the huge drop. Sinn Féin lost support, which I didn't think was going to happen. I thought they would lose some support. I thought maybe that would be 21%. But they've lost a good bit. And, it's something to know. But Fianna Fáil, surprisingly, too. Like, they gained support. Like, even though Fianna Fáil should be gone, too. And Fianna Gael, lost about 1% of support in first preference support, I suppose. But the Green Party's the most noticeable. They got demolished. Same with people before profit. They didn't do that well. People before profit. It's about average. But they ain't too done the best with it as the smaller parties. They done the best. The Labour Party, did okay. But yeah, he looked surprised. Well, I think he was so full of himself that he couldn't be beaten, and that's what happened. So at least something came off it, and obviously Anne Webb had lost her seat too. So there's a few people being kicked out, and most of the Green Party were kicked into bits. But there you go. At least there's a few of them been kicked out. But Helen McAtee has no right to come first in no area, or Michal Martin and stuff like that. So too bad they didn't get kicked out. Too bad all of them didn't get kicked out, but some of them got kicked out anyway. So, as I say, mainly the Green Party got kicked out. But Catherine Martin lost the seat too, which is to do with OT. We'll get to Catherine Martin later on, I suppose. But I just want to bring you this first of all. Now, I don't know how true this is, but it seems to be true because some of the media are talking, but it's not that at the moment. So I don't know how true it is. So take it with a grain of salt. And this is to do with this. So straight after the election wasn't even over a few hours, and the government came out with this, and the Sunday World came out with this, and the Irish Examiner came out with it too. So I presume it's why I'm right in saying, because the Irish Examiner, the mainstream media have talked about sex offenders could get temporary release. So pretty much the same as what they did in England. And what happened in England, just to say, when then people got released, sex offenders, etc., people that were released, narrowly release. A majority of them ended up back in prison within a month, pretty much. Like nearly 80% or so ended up in prison back in a month's time. Now, don't get me wrong. They shouldn't be doing this, obviously, but don't get me wrong. If they released people that didn't pay their TV licenses and stuff like that, maybe you could argue that wouldn't be as bad. But pretty much letting these people out, sex offenders, go back into society and just run around, you're pretty much asking for trouble. You're pretty much looking for trouble, pretty much. That's what you're trying to do. This is what, if Helen McAtee goes ahead and does this. Because the prisons now are overcrowded, the same as the UK, they're overcrowded, they're flowing over. But long story short, if the release, say, the people that didn't pay their TV license, take for example, people that ran a red light or something like that, something minor, robbed a box of matches, something like that. I wouldn't mind so much that, but literally letting these people out so they can reoffend, because the majority of people that are sex offenders do reoffend. If they get out again, they do reoffend and they do become another issue. So this is what really we're going to let happen again. So we're just going to let these people go out and do this, and then be back in prison in a month's time after, or not less than a month, about 24 hours after they go out. So this is what the government are proposing to do, which is absolutely insane, particularly because, again, Helen McAtee is in the party of law and order. Fianna Gael, the party of law and order. This is not law and order. Well, this is what they're suggesting to do. And notice how they didn't bring it out before the election. This is on December the 4th, just after the election was, all the results came in. Notice how they didn't talk about it. You think the Irish media would have come out with it? Like the Sunday World probably sat in it for a few days. You think they would put it out before the election, to say to people, look, this was Helen McAtee's thinking about doing. Because again, at the moment, Helen McAtee should be saying absolutely not, 100% no, we're not doing it. But she hasn't said no. And she hasn't said yes either. So that's the worst thing about it. You think she would outright come out and say, no, we never would do that. But she hasn't said yes or no. That's what frightens me about it. Frightening thing about it, because if she came out and said outright no, at least then you know. But it's the fact that she didn't say yes or she didn't say no. So she's considering it. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a few minutes' time. We'll get to that in a few minutes' time. But yeah, just wanted to bring you that. I don't know. Again, we see what Helen McAtee says, but not Helen McAtee. Give me a moment. Sorry. So there's a few more things. We get to the poor girl being killed in Wexford. Get to that in a second. So I talked about this before, just because I say something as well. Unfortunately, there's no more news on this poor woman that's missing in Portugal. There's still no news about it. She's missing to July 2020. And the Portuguese authorities are still burying their head into the sand, to be totally honest. So I don't know what the Portuguese authorities have to hide. Because at this stage, I need to go with that. The Portuguese authorities are hiding something, because they literally are refusing to do anything, the Portuguese authorities. So I don't know what's happening. What happened to this one, we don't know. We still don't know where she is, what happened to her, where did she go. But it's not good enough. Pretty much, I would say, to the Department of Foreign Affairs. And And I'm sure the councillors have heard me saying it, and the TDs, etc., Deputy Brendan Smith, etc., that it's not good enough that an Irish citizen can disappear on holidays, and nothing's ever said about it, and nothing's ever done about it. So it's not good enough. Like, we should be summoning the Portuguese ambassador to, to the Department of Foreign Affairs to demand questions. Like, I don't even know was the Portuguese ambassador summoned to the Department of Foreign Affairs to be asked questions. What's happening here? Because there should be, he should be summoned. There should be really a diplomatic incident about this, to be totally honest. Because it is becoming a joke. There's no answers. There's literally nothing. Like, they haven't told, the Portuguese authorities have told the Irish government of the Garda Síochána, or the family has been told nothing, pretty much. And again, it's a long time ago now, 2020. Unfortunately, it's a long time, as I say, coming into 2025 now. And there's still no word. There's still nothing about it. It'd be different if there was something, if there's new something. But again, it seems like the Portuguese authorities are literally going out of the way to hamper this investigation. And to be totally honest, the Portuguese authorities at this stage, what I would nearly say, that An Garda Síochána should take over and go over the Portugal. If the Portuguese police don't want to do anything, or just, I don't know what's the problem. But long story short, the Garda should probably be taking control of the investigation instead of the Portuguese authorities. Because especially as an Irish citizen, the Irish people deserve to know what happened to this woman. The family particularly deserves to know what happened to this woman. The find her, unfortunately, it doesn't look great now in 2020. She might have moved away voluntarily. We don't know. It's the part of not knowing is the saddest thing. But still, there's no, like, the Portuguese authorities seem to be hampering the investigation more than helping. But again, this, we have to try and find this woman, as I say. Hopefully she's safe and well, but it doesn't look good because it's a long time ago now, and there's literally nothing about it. So, but what I'm trying to say is too, and I do appeal to the media particularly too. Like, this is the local media that's talking about it. Like, the national media should be talking about it a lot more, because this woman disappeared without a trace. And it should be the goal of every Irish citizen, if they're missing, if they get lost, etc., that they're found. And there should be every effort made by the Irish state to find this woman. So. I mean, yeah, so as you were just saying earlier on, Fiona, so a poor young girl at 8 years old was murdered in a house. She was protecting her mother from this, like, the person that was stabbing her. Like, we don't know the name of the individual in question, but I wouldn't even call him a person. He's the devil, the person that done this to this child. Cut her throat, etc., Like, you'd be totally honest, straight away we should bring back the death penalty. Because it's evil. That's what this man is. They done this to this child. Like, the only thing they call really here that it caused was the death penalty, really, pretty much, for the man in question that's done this to this poor child at 8 years old, who was protecting her mother. Cut her throat. Like, only animals do such a thing like that. Like, and to be totally honest, like, that's one of the reasons we should bring the death penalty back, because there's no justification. There's no anything in the world that can say that there's nothing to atone him for his for this. So, and to be totally honest, he should see the death penalty for that. He should see the hangman's noose. To be totally honest, this person that caused this to this poor girl. Like, it is quite a shock. I'm sure you would agree. An 8-year-old girl to have her throat cut defending her mother. It shouldn't happen in this country. It shouldn't happen anywhere, particularly to a child, as I say. It shouldn't happen to an 8-year-old child. She had a whole life ahead of her. And unfortunately, that's cut short now because of some evil demon. And I wouldn't even call him a person. He's a demon. That should literally go to... we should send him to hell as quick as possible, in my opinion, the person that done this to this poor girl. And that's the strongest possible language that anybody could use. We should send them to hell as quick as possible. So that's why we need to go out and say that the death penalty should be introduced, because that's where he should be going. Simple as that. There's no prison or into that. There should be no mercy for him. Simple as that. And that's what I say to him. Because this poor young girl had a whole life ahead of her, only 8 years old. And she didn't deserve to be killed in that way, and nobody deserves to be killed in that way. And especially defending the mother. I can't imagine how how the mother feels, because she's seen the whole lot, so I can't imagine the suffering and the pain she's going through at the moment. But I do ask people to pray for the family and to pray for the friends that she had, the children. Again, she's only a child; she's in primary school. It must be tough on her friends, etc., to have somebody slaughtered in that kind of way. It's something that shouldn't happen, and again, it shouldn't be. It should never happen again in this country. But yeah, may she rest in peace. I don't know what's the father, but it was some man anyway, so we don't know. To be totally honest, we don't know, but it doesn't matter if she didn't even know him. It's the electric chair or the hangman's noose. That's there's no prison. In my opinion, there should be no prison for this fellow. I wouldn't even call him a fellow. He's the devil, pretty much. But it's the devil. It's a demon, and he should be set straight to hell. To be totally honest, and that's to be totally honest. So I don't know if it's valid, but whoever it was, they don't deserve. They've lost their right to live. The person that done this to this poor girl, and that's as simple as that. That's in my opinion, and that's why we should need to bring back the death penalty, because it's it's a terrible thing to see. To a girl that's 8 years old, like I'm just thinking back to when I was 8. We were innocent. We didn't understand the world, etc. So we just wanted to live our lives, doing things like that, and to have something happen to somebody that age. There's no prison, no anything for that. There should be no prison. That's to be totally honest with you. So that's why I was saying, as I said, the death penalty should be brought back, because these crimes, particularly, that literally are inhumane, and that's the word I would use, inhumane. There's no prison shouldn't be the answer for that. To be totally honest, it's straight away to the death penalty. Simple as that, and I would say that straight, because these crimes hurt all of society, and these crimes, there's no justification in the world. There's nothing that can be said in the world to justify it, or to anyway, you know what I'm saying. It's just the only solution is the death penalty. They'll send them to hell. Simple as that. Because that's where he deserves to be, that person that killed his child. Yeah, pretty much. And again, I wouldn't be saying it, but that's the way I feel, because there's no justification in the world. There's nothing that he can say to justify it or anything, and it's pure evil. Again, a girl at 8 years old had a whole life ahead of her. It's pure evil. That's all it is. It's just the demon in disguise, pretty much. And that's what I'm saying. It's just it's the definition of evil, like, pretty much. An innocent young child trying to protect their mother. Like, there's nothing else that can be said. There's no prison, really, in a way. In fact, there's no justice in sending that man to prison. The only justice is sending them to hell, and to be told. And that's in my opinion, and particularly in many cases over the years in Ireland. That's the only way to kind of stop this. If the people like that go to the gallows. That's the only thing. That's what I would say. No people disagree with me, but this girl had a whole life ahead of her, only 8 years old. That's what I'm saying. She's only 8, and she's dead now because of that demon. What can be said? Like, I generally don't know what to say, but I do feel sorry for her family and her friends, particularly her young friends. Like, imagine how you growing up at 8 years old, or around 8, 9 years old, and you see that your friend had a throat cut. I couldn't imagine that. I don't think any child should have to, hear that out of the parents' mouth or from any teacher's mouth that happened. It's inhumane. But we move on, I suppose, because this is a very upsetting topic to talk about, and we can only hope justice to be done. And we can only pray for the families and the poor friends, because they're the people suffering right now. But may she rest in peace. Now, I just want to talk about this. I've talked about this many, many times about defibrillators. This is on Quote Patrick, the topic Quote Patrick. Like, I don't know why people do these kind of things. Like, these things cost thousands of euro to put out, to set up, etc., etc. Uh, like, I don't know why people do it. It's simple as that. I don't know why people. These are life saving gear. They cost thousands of euros, as I say, they put up and to have around the country. And the literally can mean the difference between life and death, pretty much, for some people. And there's a good that they have them in public, that people can access them if there's an emergency. And especially in public spaces and stuff like that. It's good that there's years ago there was no such thing as it. But particularly with this now, as I say, people who do this kind of thing, I don't know why they do it. Why can they not just ignore it? But even there's been many times here they were stolen in cavan, they were stolen and they were destroyed, they were thrown into rivers. Like, I don't get these people. Like, I don't get why they just do it. I don't get it. Like, I wouldn't mind if they gain something by doing it, but they don't gain anything. They cause damage to property, and they cause damage to life-saving gears that could save somebody's life. So I don't know. And I would say, there is a law being processed, I think, in the Shannon to do with damage, and that they get an extra sentence or something like that. So hopefully they do pass that law, because there's the one law I would agree with, that people who do this kind of thing should be put to prison for a good few years, because it's senseless what they're doing, especially because it's such a trend. Like, in every part of the country, it's happening. So there should be, or may clean up the streets for 5 or 6 years in community services, because at the end of the day, the people that they're hurting the most is not the Irish taxpayer having to pay to repair it or to get a new one. It's the community. If somebody took ill beside this or needed it, it's not there because it's damaged and it's broken. So that's who they're hurting. They're hurting their own community, and that's as simple as that. And they should be made pay for it. Of course, first of all, they should be made pay for it if they damage that or broke it in any way, and obviously made then go and clean up around the community for 5 or 6 years. To teach them some manners, to be told, Nancy. I was thinking that would be brought up. I don't know what's happened myself in the Irish Freedom Party, so I'm not going to get involved in it at the moment. But I don't know myself. Hopefully they'll sort it out, but I don't know. Again, that's all I say on it. So we have our TDs. So just to talk about them, so we have our TDs. 43 hours. We're long waiting for the count. We waited 43 hours for the first couch in Cavan, just to say. When you think about it, this is a joke. Waited 43 hours for the first couch in Cavan. Like, it was fucking crazy. Excuse my language, but fuck me, it was painful. Me being here until 1 o'clock in the morning waiting for them. They didn't do it, the fuckers. So these are the TDs for Cavan. So pretty much, on my legs dying. So pretty much, and again, Fine Gael didn't do as well as they thought they would do. Because Heather Humphreys, again, we look at the figures later on, but Heather Humphreys used to top the poll and used to be one away. The same with Matt Carter used to top the poll. But this time he literally didn't top the poll. He needed a few more thousand votes. So Sinn Féin lost a lot of support in Cavan and Monaghan. Because they didn't top the poll. Usually they would run away with it, pretty much. Matt Carty would run away with it, and he have hundreds of votes left over, but he didn't this time. Same with David Maxwell. So, that's pretty much it. Fianna Fáil, like, what denied Pauline Tully her seat? Pauline Tully, the sitting TD, was replaced by Cathy Bennett. Was into Sarah Wiley. Sarah Wiley really, and the same with Fianna Fáil. Like, Sarah Wiley should probably be here at the moment. Because she was doing that well. Only for Niamh Smith got a bit of an edge over her, and that's what happened. Like, it wasn't much in the difference between Sarah Wiley and Niamh Smith, pretty much. Like, pretty much they're very, very lucky. If a few more people would have voted Sarah Wiley, number one, we would have an Aontú TD at the moment, because she literally that's what made the cow go on so long, because was that, like, Sarah Wiley literally bet them. Like, Sarah Wiley denied pretty much Sinn Féin a third TD too. Like, only for Sarah Wiley being there, we have 3 Sinn Féin TDs in Cavan. But Sarah Wiley took all the votes, and that's what happened. So Sinn Féin are not happy with Aontú at the moment in Cavan, because they thought they would get 3 seats, but then Sarah Wiley done very well and bet Pauline Tully, knocked out of sitting TD. So pretty much, Fianna Fáil should be counting the grace this year, because Sarah Wiley was literally only a centimetre behind them, like, quite literally. But she did very, very well. Sarah Wiley. Um, um, yeah, so sitting TD Pauline Tully got knocked out. So that's pretty much the difference. It's two Sinn Féin, uh, one Fine Gael, and two Fianna Fáil, pretty much. But what saved Wes Max, David Max with Fine Gael? What saved them was, and I tell you straight, what saved them was that TP O'Reilly, the Lord Mayor of Cavan, and where is Calma Brady? Up the top. Calma Brady, yeah. So Calma Brady and TP O'Reilly were knocked out, and their votes transferred to David Maxwell. That's what got him elected, pretty much. So they're very lucky Fine Gael too. They basically hold on with the skin of their teeth because the head of Hovers would just top the poll every time. So yeah. There was even no picture for Falco Joseph. I noticed that too at the thing. There was no picture of him. It's there we are. Overtime pretty much was like it was painful. Like it was generally painful what was happening at the couch at them. Like it was pretty much painful, because it was just 60. Like it took 60. Like it took what was it, 60 hours? Yeah, for the whole lot to be said and done. Pretty much, we were the last in the country to get it done. So it was quite insane. Like to be totally honest, it was quite insane. Like it went on for too long. Pretty much what I'm trying to say. It went on for far too long. It just drained all the energy out of me. But there we are. Oh, I put back on the music. Jesus, it's already nearly an hour live. Jesus, it's already nearly 8 o'clock. Jesus Christ, the time flies. Jesus, time does fly now. So this came out for the Sunday World too. High-profile ex-politician during court over migrant trafficking and indecent images. It doesn't give the name of the TD, so it is a TD. We know it is. Some member of the Oireachtas. We don't know who it is. It doesn't say any kind of person it is, but it seems to be quite high. Like it seems to be a TD. It doesn't seem to be a councillor. It seems to be some kind of TD or some minister, maybe even. So somebody very, very high. There was a former TD, just to say, not a sitting TD, but not that long ago. Pretty much what I'm trying to say. It pretty much not that long ago too, the TD. So I don't know who it is, but long story short, it should be the matter of a public interest. And the public have a right to know too. That they should say straight away, is that TD or is that TD? And so it should be. Like in fairness, it really should. Like particularly because this is a very high over migrant trafficking and a decent image too. Very high. Like it's not like you didn't pay your TV license. It's something that the public have a right to know. A former politician that's on the pay of the state. Take for example, that's getting a huge money in a pension from the taxpayer. People have a right to know who it is. So the Sunday World should be straight away saying who it is without being afraid to be sued, etc., etc. But yeah, like enjoyed. So it is some like TD. It's not a councillor because it wouldn't say a high profile because a councillor, not many councillors are high profile, etc., etc. So it's some kind of TD or senator. But long story short, we should know pretty much. There shouldn't be anything hidden about this. Sorry. Ticking clock. Yeah, that clock is loud. Like a few people have said it. It's very loud. I don't find it loud. Let me answer. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Don't know who it is. I would love to know who it. I wouldn't love to know, but I'd be sickened to know who it is. But it's somebody high. But the public have a right to know who it is because it isn't a very. It's not like somebody rammed into somebody's car or I take this up, or some minor thing like that. It's literally indecent images and human trafficking. Migrant trafficking, human trafficking, pretty much. For sitting, and again, you have to remember these politicians, ex-politicians, whoever it is getting a big, huge amount of money every month from you and me, the taxpayer, who are paying his pension. So whoever it is, anyway, if they're convicted of it, shouldn't be getting a state pension. Pretty much, they should not get any money from the state, from the taxpayer. And whoever it is, too, should be going to prison. There's no doubt about that. But when they get out of prison, yeah, human trafficking is pretty bad. In this country, but again, it's a member of Dáil or Shannon Down. It's some high politician. If that makes any sense. Like it is already bad with criminal gangs and stuff like that without politicians getting involved in it. But we already see in Tusla, like there's still children missing. Unfortunately, Roger Goma didn't lose his seat, but he nearly did. But there's still missing children that we don't know where they are. Roger Goma hasn't enlightened us to tell us where them children are. Nobody has said anything where these children are. So we can only assume they were trafficked somewhere, pretty much. And that's what I'd say, because there's no word on where they are. And I say that, and I don't say that lightly, but there should be some kind of word from Roger Goma saying, we know where these children are, but there's nothing like that. Nobody knows where these children are. And there's no proof to say they're safe and sound. There's nothing been said about it. Pretty much nothing been said. He was asked OT, we showed it before the election, what about these missing children? He never talked about it. He never addressed the question. He danced around it pretty much. So, I can only predict that they were trafficked somewhere and they were outside the state at the moment. Again, this should have been one of the main things. And Roger Goma shouldn't have been re-elected. I don't think the people of his constituency knew how many children have went missing and died under his watch in Tucson. But he didn't get elected by much. But I suppose that's democracy. It's up to the people to decide. But he shouldn't have got in. And he probably won't be now because there's only one of them in the door, one Green Party. So at least the one thing he'd be away from children nowadays. Anyway, Walter could come. Maybe some other person that's Minister for Children. Because it's unacceptable. Children to go missing in a first world country. And there's nothing to be said about it, especially in the modern age too. Wouldn't mind 50 or 60 years ago. It was hard to find out where people went, etc. But in the modern age, that shouldn't happen, especially in state care. Just disappear. It doesn't make any sense. And children dying in state care too. It doesn't make it, especially the numbers too. When you look at the numbers, there's a lot of children. They died in state care. Yeah, the whole system of this country is just rotten, and it's continuing going to be rotten. The unfortunate thing is, it's going to continue to be rotten because the same crowd are back in. So there's nothing going to change. But that's to say to you, and unfortunately, so nothing's going to change. Maybe one thing might change every once in a while, but not much now. The only people that's benefiting it's really the landlords, the big elite, the elite of the elite. Webs, watch out for the spiders. Now, we have a lot probably to discuss now, so just bear with me. There's a good bit to discuss now. I probably should have went live yesterday because there's a lot of what to talk about in different yards. So we go to Finland now for a second. Just to show you now as best I can, because unless you were following the situation, you wouldn't understand it. But basically, this is something like a 612 parade, which is pretty much neo-Nazis with swastikas and pictures of Hitler, quite literally. To be totally honest, quite literally, that's what it is. With the salutes and all that, basically pretty much Nazis. Long story short, the Minister of Sitters says, "Oh, this is fine. This is great. I support this," and that didn't go well. Pretty much, it hasn't gone well because literally the Minister of Sitters, the Minister of Finance, the Deputy Prime Minister of Finland was pretty much, I don't see a problem with this. And at the same time, you remember I said to you a few weeks ago that the Finnish government, this was 2 months ago, brought in legislation to fine people €200 if they're at an anti-government protest. So pretty much everybody's very upset at the moment. This doesn't classify as an anti-government protest. But long story short, it suits the true Finns narrative pretty much. So that's why it's not an anti-government protest. And pretty much the Deputy Prime Minister said, I don't see any problem with this, And then, a few pensioners going out to protest about their wages, the pension being cut. They're extremists. They're dangerous people. We should lock them up pretty much. That's what the true Finns are taking. Like a few elderly Finnish people, not happy with the pensions being cut, And then the scenario continues. The Prime Minister talks like a lot of shit. And all this, basically all of them saying different things. They're all kind of blowing themselves up pretty much because they're literally all shooting each other in the foot. Pretty much they're all contradicting themselves. Alexander Stubbs, the president's contradicting himself. The Prime Minister's contradicting himself. Now the Minister of Finance is doubling down. all of them are literally fighting with each other pretty much. It's like the True Finns and the Swedish Democrats are fighting with each other. The National Coalition are fighting with the True Finns over it. Everybody's fighting with each other pretty much. Like everybody's arguing with each other. Like nobody can agree on anything pretty much. So it's just arguments after arguments after arguments. Like all of them are literally just arguing with each other. So it's just crazy stuff. That's literally what's happening at the moment. No, like to make like it is actually just the case. They actually are just they're literally Nazis, to be totally honest. Like they are literally going around with like swastikas, like Hitler pictures like in the streets. Uh, like it's a long story. It goes back to the time in World War II. This group, etc., etc. Um, but long story short, uh, you know, it's the first time it's supposed the Finnish government, like a minister in the Finnish government, like the deputy prime minister of Finland, has pretty much said, "Yeah, I support this." Pretty much come out and said that. So it's pretty much um, the second bit, like literally another crisis in Finland. Pretty much what I'm trying to say, because literally, every day of the week they're up to something, trying to blow some, like literally cause trouble. The True Finns. Um, so that's what's happening. Yeah, like quite literally, no, but it is quite literally something to be like to see, because they're all literally arguing with each other over it. So, but I wouldn't mind the protest. This is the next thing. The protests, like these marches, happened when Santa Maria was in prime minister, and she didn't acknowledge it or anything. She just let it happen, pretty much. But it's the fact that they acknowledged it. You usually the Finnish governments beforehand never really passed any marks or never get like talked about it. They were allowed to kind of do their own thing, and as long as they wouldn't annoying people, that makes any sense. So going around, um, you know, doing their own business, not annoying people. But it's the first time the Finnish government themselves have acknowledged it, pretty much, and that's what makes it worse. That people acknowledge to give them some kind of legitimacy, I suppose. And it's kind of true too. They kind of give them legitimacy. The deputy prime minister is giving them legitimacy to do the things. That's pretty much the thing. Because Sanna Marin pretty much never said anything about it, and people were happy enough because she never said the only Finn in the street, didn't want to acknowledge that these things were going on. And Sanna Marin just kind of ignored them and let them do, as long as they wouldn't destroy any property onto that. Just to ignore them is the best thing, and that's what she did. But they had to go out of the way to, say something pretty much, and that's what caused the whole shebang. And the fact that the whole lot of them can't agree, like some of them saying, "Oh, this is great," pretty much. So it's pretty good. It's like pretty much everybody's arguing with each other, pretty much. Like in the 1900 big crisis in Finland this year, pretty much. Like literally, they're going around with torches and stuff like that. Something like you see, and so it's crazy stuff for them. But it's only a small minority of people. And literally with SS tattoos and stuff like that, like you really wonder when you see that kind of thing. But I don't really know what else to say to you about that. But don't know. But the majority of Finns don't want anything to do with it, pretty much. But yeah, no, just want to show you that because it is a big thing at the moment in Finland. It's happening. There's a lot of workish amount in it. That's what So yeah, how we anything else? Anybody want to ask anything or anything? There's other things we have to talk about. If anything you have to ask me now, I suppose ask me now when I have a second to breathe. I suppose to talk to breathe. I think the two of them on it is bad. Like Nazis are like pretty much the two of them bad. They caused huge amount of deaths between them. The two of them as bad as each other, pretty much. Just literally about control, etc., etc. Pretty much, that's what it is. And then obviously the amount of suffering across the world that's caused over the last 100 years. something that we shouldn't be trying to bring back, I suppose. Um, Now, I see this headline from the Irish Slimes, the Irish Times. Businesses will miss the Green Party now it's gone. I don't know about that. I think the majority of businesses will be fucking delighted. Like, especially the farmers, they'd be jumping for that the Green Party are finally gone. Um, because I don't think they're ever going to come back, unfortunately, Roderick. They're not going to come back this time, unfortunately. I think people have copped on to the Green Party too much now. They just want rid of them. So yeah, he'd be gone in the next election, just to say. But yeah, a lot of business, like the only Joe on the street, would be a lot happier now that the Green Party's gone, because there would be a huge fewer hike, basically, in the price of petrol because of the carbon tax, etc., etc. So I say Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil will get rid of the carbon tax probably soon, because the farmers are not happy, so they don't want to annoy the farmers. Because again, Fine Gael relies on the farmers for a lot of votes. So yeah, so a lot of businesses will be happy, Irish Times, because the man who's delivering, say for example, in the truck, delivering food, etc., for a company, will be happy, because if the carbon tax goes down, take for example, by even a few bit, and the Green Party were talking about increasing it 50 whole split pretty much. So the businesses will be happy because there's less regulations to do with the environment, etc. So they'd be delighted, along with the only man and woman in the country. They'd be delighted too that they're finally gone. So pretty much businesses are thrilled that the Green Party are gone. But so yeah, the Irish Times are coping. Pretty much, they're literally saying the business. I haven't met one businessman saying, "Oh God, the Green Party. What are we going to do? The Green Party's gone." I haven't heard one person say that in business. Quite about the Green Party losing those seats. Like, I think they're all just ecstatic, jumping for joy. Jumping for joy. Oh, nearly clicked the button again. I would have been twice one night. Ooh. Bum. Well, the Green Party be kicked out of all the restaurants. I don't think anybody want them in it. So I think that the majority of business will be delighted that they're gone. And there's not much loss in the Green Party with no addition. Just to say, let me just talk about. I have to talk about this anyway. So, give me a second. Now, we'll go to the Labour Party. We'll go and see Ivana Patrick. Now, if you remember the poll that I did for the Irish Independent, wasn't it? And they said I was a Labour Party supporter. Never the truth. Let me tell you, answer, because the Labour Party. Who would want to be part of them? Like, maybe when James Connolly was about, because the Labour Party actually meant something. Was actually some way decent. So pretty much the Labour Party are split kind of on joining Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, which will make up the numbers, because Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil together, they just miss out. They only miss out by 6 or 7 seats to have a majority, pretty much. So they kind of need a few, like a small party or a few independents, like a few independent TDs. But see, with independent TDs, they're independent, obviously. Say, for example, they got Mikey Healy-Rae or Danny Healy-Rae, God forbid Matty Maguire, but Matty Maguire wouldn't go in with them. But say if they did let's just say for argument's sake they did. They have 86 seats, but they would want 90 seats, pretty much, what I'm trying to say. So they would need another 4 or 5. And if they had the Labour Party with them, they would have a huge majority, basically. So they would win every vote in Dáil pretty much. So that's what they're thinking about. So we've only had a few independents, and say one independent didn't agree with them and withdraw their support, At least with the Labour Party, they would have a bit more over the 90 mark. They would have 94, 95, right? They would have a bit more of a majority than 90. Say if one independent kind of said, or the few independents say brought down the government, because that could happen if the few independent TDs went in and they didn't get what they wanted to, could bring down the government pretty much. So they were rather a party pretty much, I think. So it's either the Labour Party or the Social Democrats, pretty much, which were because the two of them on 11 seats each. So pretty much it's going to be either one of the two. But the Labour Party are very afraid because they're seeing what happened to the Green Party, and it didn't. You remember what happened? We all know what happened to the Green Party. It got demolished when they went into government now, and we all remember last time Labour was in government, they got demolished. They all got demolished. So that's what happened. So pretty much Labour knows if they go into government, they're going to be demolished. It's back to the next century. Because there was one time Labour had 32 TDs, now they only have 11. So long has the fallen. But again, that was because the weather gets the working class, the weather gets the single parents and etc. Joan Bolton did it. That's what happened. So, that's what sealed Labour's fate. And Labour's never going to be a big party on the stage. Because they're pretty much, Joan Bolton has sealed Labour's fate for the rest of eternity in this state. They're never going to go anywhere. Now, the Social Democrats could go somewhere. Now, in the next few years, we'll probably see them gain support, etc. Because they are gaining a lot of support, the Social Democrats. So they'll probably be in time to come, they will probably be the biggest, smaller left-wing party compared to Sinn Féin, pretty much. Because people before profit didn't do too well in the election. Mick Barry lost his seat. There was a few other socialist TDs that lost their seat in the people before profit, but they didn't do that well, pretty much. What I'm trying to say. So people before profit, people are not that happy with them. But yeah, Social Democrats did well, but yeah. Ooh, they're back again. Yeah, but Eamon Ryan cut and won. Like we all knew why Eamon Ryan cut and won now. Like we've seen them all won. Like well, not won. He went to sleep pretty much, because he knew what was coming down the track at him. He knew what was going to happen. Like he knew it was Joe for him. He knew. So yeah, Gino Kenny too lost his seat. So people before probably didn't do that well. Pretty much what I'm trying to say. But yeah, Eamon Ryan went away. It's only a delusion of democracy. Well, pretty much in some regards, pretty much, yeah. But I get what you're saying. But again, I would say then to the contrary too. Like look at the referendum. It does work sometimes. I suppose it's when people get wild up. I suppose that's the way I would see it. Yeah, I would obviously wish the boy Bowd would keep his seat. I think everybody knew that one. He would get his seat anyway. But yeah, no, just going back, the referendum, it's a perfect example when people really stand up and stuff like that. And it can make a difference. It's when people really want change, pretty much. And we've seen the referendum what happened, but to a certain extent, I do agree with you, and some certain extent, like even take for the Green, that just the Green Party, like the majority of people, and again, somebody said it to me in the comments of one of the live streams that the people focused their anger on the Green Party. They didn't focus on Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. So people were more focused on getting rid of Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael more than the rest of the parties, which we should have been angry at Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael too, because people just focused their anger on the Green Party. That's what seemed to happen. Like just even take for example in Cavan, they lost half of the photos. Like they literally lost half of the photos. As I said to you before, I talked to it in the video. I knew somebody that was a Green supporter, would you believe? But he was a young college student. And when he got out of college, when he tried to get his first car, and then he seen the prices of how much he has to pay for petrol, he quickly got out of it very quick. When he woke up in the real world, when he kind of woke up outside of college, and got a car, he kind of was like to himself, the Green Party not doing that great for us, for my pocket. It's just funny to see that. Like it was funny to see that bit. Like that was the funniest thing, nearly for me, because he kind of woke up in the real world after that. Because before, and he was like, the Green Party, the best. We're going to save the planet. Eamon Ryan's great. Like he literally said to me at one stage, Eamon Ryan is a great man. He's doing good things for the environment. I don't know about that nowadays. He's not that happy with it when he sees the price of his petrol bill at the end of the week. He's not that pleased with it. But long story short, he's not that happy with the Green Party nowadays. So a lot of that happened in Cavan, that the Green Party just lost a lot of support, and they're never going to get it back. Because see, when people wake up in the real world, you see what happens with the Green Party, pretty much. Lisa Donovan, she was lucky now. I will go back. Like Lisa Donovan was lucky that she didn't get in. Like she nearly got in. Like in fairness, she nearly did get in. It's not somebody that I would vote for, but people did vote for whatever reason. That's why people vote. But again, she didn't get in. She was just barely didn't get in, but she was very lucky not to get in. But He probably signed off with the bicycles. And of course, who else goes around the bicycles and dreams about bicycles and all that? It's Eamon Ryan. He probably took the bicycle shed with him. But yeah, we all know why Eamon Ryan left now because we all seen what Eamon he pretty much knew that everybody was gunning for them. Everybody was gunning for them. We all seen that everybody was gunning for them. Even that man himself there that I just said, he was a former Green Party supporter. He was gunning for the Green Party in Cavan too. Just destroyed them. Everybody was gunning for them. I could see it before the election too. People were gunning for them. And I think we should have been gunning for Fianna Gael too, instead of just gunning for the Green Party. But yeah, I put these back on side. Apologies. I don't know who signed it. It's hard to know who signed off though. It could have been Pascal and it could have been Eamon Ryan, but it was definitely Eamon Ryan came up with the idea for a bicycle shed. It was definitely him that suggested it. I don't know who signed off on it, but definitely Eamon Ryan suggested it. Oh, I think Danny, wait a second, hold on a second. Danny Healy-Way said in the Dáil, now if you can make out Danny Healy-Way, but Danny Healy-Way said if Vanna Patrick wants another bicycle shed. So maybe that might say that Vanna Patrick wanted it. Because if Vanna Patrick too, when she went to vote Friday, she was on her bike. That obviously was conveniently around the corner, and she conveniently got out of a big car and happened to get onto the bicycle for the cameras. Conveniently, very convenient. But allegedly, of course, too. Yeah, Eamon Ryan, we all knew he seen what was coming from, so that's why he ran away. So he can sleep all he wants now. He can sleep all the time he wants. Eamon Ryan. So you see, but I will say, even going back to the Hutch. I know the Hutch didn't get in, but he's very lucky he didn't get in too, because he was very close to it. He was very close to getting in. He was within a few hundred votes of getting in. It wasn't much in the difference. What I'm trying to say, Labour got that seat, the senator in the Labour Party got that seat, but it wasn't much in the difference. It wasn't 100 miles in the difference. He was very lucky. He nearly got in the first try. He probably will go again, so we'll see what happens. But I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I suppose people could I did a poll on my channel, and people were like, maybe not with some terms of criminal convictions and stuff like that. The only thing that was really talked about outside of Ireland in terms of this election was about the Hutch, pretty much. It was even on the Finnish media in Finland about the Hutch. It was mentioned on the Yale News in Finland. So I don't know, is that a good look for the country too? The way they describe him as a big gangster pretty much going into the Dáil. But as I would say to the country of that, is they're all gangsters in the Dáil, so it's pretty much just confirming that they're all gangsters. They're all gangsters in the Dáil. All of them are criminals, pretty much, to be totally honest, in the Dáil. All of them have sold themselves, to be totally honest, in a way. So, so but no, it's just funny because the whole international that was main thing people talked about in the election outside of Ireland, pretty much. Which about the Hutch and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I seen about the fight chamber. Yeah, they pushed through a bill without the support of Parliament and just pushed it through. So there's going to be probably another election in France, pretty much. Yeah, but the government's going to collapse, in fact, because there's only a minority government. The same as in North Korea, not North Korea, sorry, there's no minority government. There's only one government in North Korea, excuse me. In South Korea, it's a minority government. And that's what the president did, because he only has a minority government. It's the same in France, it's a minority government. It's not a full government. It's not like what they have here now at the moment, what they're going to have. They have huge numbers, pretty much, to make a government. In France, it's pretty much they don't have the numbers to make a government. So, they push the bill forward and now there's a motion of no confidence because they weren't going to get passed through Parliament. It's the same what's happening in the Finnish Parliament at the moment. They can't get legislation passed, etc. So there's too much opposition from the other parties and from the own supporters too. There's opposition from their own supporters. But pretty much Eamon Ryan did. Yeah, he watched loads of wind turbines. It was him that signed off on it. The Minister for the Environment, he did, yeah. He was the fellow that signed off on it. So, yeah, it was Eamon Ryan, definitely, because Eamon Ryan oftentimes said about it. He wanted wind turbines. He likes his wind turbines. Um, he doesn't. Well, to be totally honest, he doesn't like much, but he likes his wind turbines and his bicycle sheds and his bikes. But apart from that, he doesn't like himself. I don't think. To be totally honest, I don't think he likes himself yet. Ryan. Oh well, unfortunately, there'll be no more TD sleeping in the doll. Unfortunately, so we won't hear him and Ryan sleeping in the doll. Oh yeah, that fellow. What do you call him? The Green Party. He used to be in the Green Party. What do you call him? Paul Gaultier. Yeah, Paul Gaultier. Isn't that who I'm taking? A Paul Gaultier. What fuck you, Deputy Stagg? Fuck you. He got elected to Dáil Éireann, I think, as an independent, didn't he? So that'll be some fun. Hopefully, he says, "Fuck you, fuck you, Norma Foley, fuck you, fuck you, Deputy Foley, fuck you." Hopefully, he comes out with something like that. So that'll be fun if that happens. But he got elected as an independent. He used to be a Green Party TD, yeah. Paul Gaultier, yeah. So hopefully, he comes out with that statement at some point. To Norma Foley or something like that. But pretty much people elected him because of it, of that. So that's how he got elected. Yeah, there's no question, but that's how he got elected. People were like, "Oh yeah, that's the fellow that said that to the thing." Oh, Ming Wood. So there we go. We're looking forward to that kind of thing. There's a few more things I want to talk about. Just give me a second. See, I'm all over the place today. Big Gilly. Sorry about that. Apologies. Sorry. Sometimes I have to look at the emails and stuff like that. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Let me see. Where am I now? Sorry. There's that much happened in the election, and different things were said. But this person said that. The other person said this. This person said the other thing, and this person said that, and the other person said that, and this person said this, and this person said that, and then the other thing said. But then you need 6 heads to comprehend it all. Where we fit to. Now there is some news from Kerry at the moment. Give me a moment. Sorry. Apologies. Kerry. No, a man. Yeah, we don't know if it's father, so we don't know. So we don't know if it's a stranger. Obviously, they must have knew the man, but we don't know what's the relation. Yeah. So I just want to go back to this for a second. Just we're talking about Norma Foley other one. So for the first time since 1948, just to say, we had to go all the way back to 1948. The Fianna Gael. Fianna Fáil is pretty much the same. They don't have a seat in Kerry. So this is the first time since 1948 that Fianna Gael hasn't. So pretty much nearly 80 years ago, just after the Second World War, it's the first time in that many years that haven't got a seat Fianna Gael in Kerry. But pretty much it went to Fianna Fáil. So if you vote Fianna Fáil, you get Fianna Gael. So pretty much it didn't matter anyway because the two of them are one and the same. If you vote Fianna Fáil, you get Fianna Gael. If you vote Fianna Gael, you get Fianna Fáil. So what's the difference? But yeah, so they lost the seat, so it's interesting to see that. but Fianna Fáil gained it. But 1948, just goes to show you, 1948. We do so. Just to say, but I know somebody asked me earlier on when the government reform accepted said they'll probably do it before Christmas. It's going to take time. Um, the French government has collapsed. Ho ho. So there we go. There's the French government gone. It Yeah. So no coffins. Yeah. So there's an election in France. There's going to be general election in France. Yeah, the France has fallen. The France has fallen. I repeat, the France has fallen. So that's what happened in France. So the government has fallen, collapsed. There we go. That's the end of the government in France for the moment. So there we go. So that's the French government gone. We were just talking about the French government's gone now. It has collapsed and it's gone. It's Joe. There was only a presidential election in France there at the summertime, wasn't there? So it didn't last long, pretty much. It didn't go well. It's all going down. It's all falling down. The whole wheels are coming off. It's all crashing down. Yeah, that's what people voted on. Like that was the thing was fear mongering over the tariffs that Donald Trump could put on Ireland, which I don't think will happen. I'll make a video on it soon when I talk about it. But I don't think it'll happen here, like the tariffs. Because again, we have such a special connection with the United States. More than really any other country nearly in the world, to be totally honest. So, if we use that connection right, then we'd be fine. If that makes any sense. It's all about negotiations. So that's the way I see it. If we use it in the correct manner, we'd be fine. But if we don't, then we're Jova. No, it's not Jova, but it'd be bad enough. Um, so that's pretty much that. No, is there anything else? Um, oh yeah, Anne Rabbit lost the seat. We talked about that. I buy one. Yeah, but see, I don't know. I probably can't buy them now. The time I got them, I only got one. I should have bought more. We'll see. Hopefully someday we get a few more. Um, because I should have bought more that time, but I didn't. I should have got more, but anyway, I'm sure it'll be easy enough to get if I wanted to get them. Not in the present future, anyway. I don't think so. But sooner or later, we'll probably be looking about a few more. Um, I have to see about that now because I kind of want another two or so. Um, just to have around. Um, like a different design too would be nice too. For one of them. One of them just the same as this, but another one kind of bit different. I don't know how you would make it a bit different, but a bit different than this. Um, what was I going to say? Yeah. So into gained one more seat. Now, it is interesting to see that Inter did gain another seat in Mayo. I know a lot of people predicting. I can see. I'm just looking at some of the tweets. I had them saved before the election. Uh, like a few people were predicting that they would have 10 seats, etc., etc. So it's interesting to see they only have 2 seats, but they were very lucky in Cavan. They could have had a third seat. Um, just to say. Mhm. Good evening, Sean. How are we keeping on this wet, miserable evening? It's pissy here. So yeah, there's loads more I could talk about, but is there anything anybody wants to ask me on it? Uh, so it's good. It's going to take some time. Just to ask somebody asked me earlier on. It's going to take some time before we know what's the layout of the government. So it'll probably be after. It'll probably be after Christmas before the government reform. I say, might not. I don't know, because it's the agenda. Oh, about South Korea, yeah. But pretty much everything that happened is pretty much done with. There's nothing really going to happen now, I don't think, because the martial law has been called off, etc., etc. The troops have been sent back to the base, so pretty much nothing's going to happen now. It was only them few hours last night um, that it was dicey, and then obviously the Parliament voted in favour of lifting the martial law, etc., etc. Got a notification again. Plus, I was oh no, that was because probably we like. I tell you what happened, Sean. Maybe you would. It was during that time. Um, I happened to click off the stream, so pretty much I hit the X, like pretty much to pause the stream. If that makes any sense. So I don't know. Was it during that period, like when the stream just went completely down? Is that what happened? Maybe was it during that period? Did you see like the what would you call it? The reloading screen, not like reload a gun or anything like that, but you know the reloading screen. Because I clicked off it like a fool. I clicked the X like to knock off the stream. So that's what happened. Where's Golden? We probably didn't see the stream or the notification probably fucked up because of the that happened. But that's weird if you were blocked. Like I don't see why you were blocked. No, up to 5 minutes ago. No, I don't see. No, I don't take any of them. There's nobody here, and there's no moderators here, so I don't see why that would have happened. So it must be YouTube acting the cut to be done answer. That must be what it was, Sean, because I don't know. I don't see anything here. Like just look on the side. I can only see up half the screen, but no. How did that you said something? And I don't think the moderators would have told me if something happened. It's just YouTube acting the cut, I say. You know yourself. But no, actually, speaking of things acting the cut, let me get this for a second. Just actually speaking of things acting the cut, such a thing to say. Speaking of things acting the cunt, excuse my language. Because you just reminded me actually of something. No, the UFO guy would never be here. Like he would make his presence be known if he came in. He would say he was here. Pretty much all the moderators, if they come in, would say they were here. Hello, they would say hello and stuff. Like they're not obliged really to be here. They only kind of hear every once in the blue moon. Because there's not really much need for them. There's nothing really too bad happening. Once in the blue moon, something happens. But it's pretty much people are chilling off. There's not much need to keep them here and be here if there's nothing happening pretty much. Like people have lives, they can't be sitting here waiting for a star to fall, if it makes any sense. Oh, right, yeah. Where is this thing? Excuse me. Waiting to see now to work. Yeah, well, pretty much the South Korean government at the moment, a minority government. Like they're not a full government. That makes sense. They only have a minority. They don't have much support. But still, there's no justification for the martial law. It'd be different if there was a North Korean invasion in Yemen or something like that. But yeah, there was no. The Parliament overwhelmingly voted against it. Um, so there's no justification. It'd be different if there was something did happen or something. Then you could declare martial law. But there's no justification for it. Because the Parliament overwhelmingly voted. You get what I'm saying? Um, it'd be different if there was, like, say, for example, let me. No, just trying to show you this now. Let's see if it's still just acting the code like this. Oh, I think that did it. Oh, it did actually do it, did it? Yeah. Let me say, sorry, no, I was going to show you something, but it actually works out. So there was a comment. Let me just, not from you, Sean, but you just reminded me of something. There was a comment there from 11 days ago from a user. And I didn't think it was that bad. He used the F word, but he was more or less saying this fucking government, which I don't see as bad. Like he was saying the F word, and YouTube flagged it, like in the what do you call it, in the held section. The held section of a YouTube channel. And for the last 10 days, nearly, or 7 days, I was always going back because I was pressing it. It's all right. It's approved. Um, so it must be just because I couldn't do it on my phone. Because as soon as I went onto my computer, I didn't try it on my computer. I've been trying it on my phone the last few days to approve it, like to get it published, because it wouldn't let it. Like it was always in the house section. The way it's the house section. It's not there now, but technically it got republished. But no, but the man said fuck the government, and then YouTube was determined on my phone because I kept pressing it literally every day to try and get it. And I literally went on to the YouTube studio on my computer and I clicked approve the message. And there you go, it's back up. But it took 10 days. So I don't know why every morning every morning I was trying it and it wouldn't let me approve it. So YouTube had a severe problem with it, whatever this, like, he was only said fucking government. And I wouldn't mind, but I kept saying approve. Like, it's gone now because I pressed. It worked on my computer, it didn't work on my phone. Like, it didn't work on my phone. I would always try it on my phone. I tried it on my computer there, it worked straight away. So I don't know. I don't know, because I literally was approving it. So I apologize to that person. Because I was trying to approve it, but I don't know why YouTube was determined. Like, I think what happened, really, I might go back again into my held section for a second. I check in a few minutes' time. Because I think what happened when I approved it in the morning, take for example, a few minutes later, YouTube will flag it again and put it into the held section again. So that's what I think happened. Like, I think as soon as I approved it, it went straight back into the held section. So I think that's what's happening. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. It'll probably be back in another 10 minutes and I approve. But just to say, that person, I don't know. I should have got the name of the account. But it's not something that's regularly here. It's like somebody just passed through. It wasn't that I'm upset in the mind that it's because YouTube was simply not letting me publish. Like, I think that's what was happening. Like, it was publishing it, like it was allowing it to go through, and YouTube straight away would just put it back in there. So we'll see if that works. It might have actually worked because I was always doing it on my phone. Usually, I'm not on my computer during the day. On the morning, it's usually in the evening and stuff when I'm on my computer. And I never thought of doing it on my computer. I always done it on my phone. Like, usually with that, I always do it on my phone. Yeah, you have a Michael campaigner in the doll. Thomas Pringle lost his seat up there in Independent. He's there 20 something years, wasn't he? Thomas Pringle. Uh, but yeah, you have a Michael campaigner too. Well, it's good in the Michael campaigner because again, they need to be given the money to rebuild their houses, etc., etc. Instead for bicycle sheds and children's hospitals, because there's money for that, but there's no money to help out them people with the house is literally crumbling. Imagine living in your house now, and your house is literally crumbling around you. That's what's literally happening in Donegal and some parts of Donegal, and some other parts of the country too. And there's money for children's hospitals, there's money for bicycle sheds, there's money for Puertos, but there's no money for that. So it's good that there's a campaign on there to speak up about that because it's not been talked about enough. Even people starting the TDs up there not talking about them enough. in Donegal. It's something that's forgotten about, I think, in the majority of the country. Like it's not talked about as much. Like obviously, it's a big, huge thing in Donegal, but not. You never really hear anybody in Cavan saying about it or anything that makes any sense. So it's good that there's somebody there on the Dáil to bring it up every 10, like literally every 10 minutes, because that's the main concern of the Michael campaign, and so rightly so. You know, but Pierce started the defer. He got 18,000 votes, like first province votes, didn't he? Like that's insane. Not as much as this woman, but still nonetheless a good bit of votes. Along with Mikey Healy done, they got the most votes out of anybody in the country. The two of them. Mikey Healy got 15,000 was in first preference votes or something like that. 14,000 something like that. Pierce started 18,000 was one. I can't remember exactly. See, there's that many. My brain turned to mush the last few days because of the amount of stuff. Yeah, I know about Pringle. Yeah, I know about the hate speech bill. Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of saying there's that much loss. But yeah, no, it's good that he was replaced by this fella. Pretty much, I'm trying to say because it's something that's not talked about enough. The mic of that makes sense. But he's gone anyway, so he won't be back. What again was saying? Because it's something I'm sure you know yourself, Sean. If you go to Dublin and stuff, that's not talked about. Like I never hear, like even the mainstream political parties never heard one of them talking about the Micah situation. Like A2 or Fianna Fáil, Fianna Gael, well, they don't care. The Green Party especially don't care. If it was in Dublin, they'd be jumping themselves to sort it out. But it's the fact that it's all down the country that don't care. The mainstream political parties. Anyway, there was a posting in, where was it? Was it in Limerick or something? There was a people for animal welfare, like a party for animal welfare. I don't know. I don't think they got in, but there was a party for animal welfare. Did anybody ever hear of that? Like I never heard of it before the election, a party for animal welfare, but there probably is. Does anybody know anything about that? Just thinking about it now. Does anybody? Because I remember hearing about two candidates in the election. One of them did well enough, I think, in Limerick, and then there was somebody up somewhere else, and some other part of the country. Does anybody hear about that? Because I only heard about it after the election was said and done. Oh yeah, sorry, I meant to show you something. See, I see. I'm talking like see when I started the stream, I forgot half the things I was going to talk about. See, I'm such a gambine. It's half the time I forget what they like. I'm like Joe Biden, wake up, Joe Biden. No, I think there was somebody in Limerick. I don't know where the other one was, but somewhere in Limerick or something. Like one of them was, and then there was somewhere else. But you could be right. I don't know. But there was. I remember hearing about somebody, the Animal Welfare Party or something like that. So I was just like, I never heard of these before. Like I never heard of them since. So I presume it's to do with animal welfare, obviously. But apart from that, I don't know much else what was happening. Like I would like to hear what they would have had to say. Pretty much what I'm saying. Because I didn't hear really anything from them pretty much in the election until after the election. So I would like to know what was the main, like obviously it's animal welfare, but I suppose what got them into the starting the party. That makes any sense. If that makes any sense, it's interesting to hear. Like I don't know, anybody have them in their area? I think there was only two of them. Oh yeah, there's definitely some kind of fight, but as I say, I don't know really what's going on, but that's about all I know. And I probably kind of know what they're getting involved anyway. That's about it. That's all really I can tell you. But don't really know. Um, so just 'cause the election, we're going back to the days. Mine good. So here we are. So there's 39 Sinn Féin TDs, 48 Fianna Fáil. Like they have a huge majority of Fianna Fáil, 38. One one lonely Green Party. um, 11 Social Democrats, 3 people for profit, 822. Independents 16. I wish it was higher than independents, but and 5 others. But Sinn Féin didn't do as well as they thought they would do. Like if you look here, look at this. This was in 2020. They lost 5% of the vote. Fianna Fáil lost a bit. Fine Gael lost a bit. The other party that lost the most was the Green Party. But yeah, Sinn Féin didn't do as well. So obviously that's the migration starting to bite them a bit. And a few other things, pretty much. But the sad thing was it's pretty much the government at the same thing again. I'm just looking at it and go, yeah, Fianna Fáil, Sinn Féin and all that. Like pretty much it's all around the country, pretty much Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael. I'm just trying to see where this party of animal welfare. Where was the one? Store constituencies. It wasn't counting the where did I think it was in the book somewhere? Did you say Tipperary South? Just to fact check. Limerick City. Try Limerick City first. Willie O'Deed. No, don't think so. Willie O'Deed done well. Good man, Willie. Willie's been there fucking. How many years has Willie been there? Since God, like he's there that long, he might as well be part of the furniture. Was it Limerick County? I think it was somewhere down there. I don't know whereabouts exactly. Obviously, Patrick O'Donovan in Benidorm, yes, exactly. Oh, here we are. Party of Animal Welfare. Yeah, Limerick County. Here we are. Got 2,250. There it is. There's one. I knew I wasn't Dalton. It was not Limerick City, it was Limerick County. There we go. There's one. I don't know. Where did you say it was? Tipperary South. Hello, Gordon. Good evening. Well, was it Tipperary South? So I was right. So it was Limerick County. Tipperary South, did you say? Because there was 2. I know there was 2. Because I specifically remember seeing it. Matty McGuire obviously topped the poll in this area. I'm waiting with such fucking thing. Waiting for suds. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. I was still waiting the suds. We're not waiting for the suds because it's all done. Tipperary North, let's see. Why is it still Peggele? Oi, fitto al balla. Otto. Oi, fitto al balla. Oi, stanno mal. Oi, fitto. Leash. Yeah, this would be Leash. Limerick County, yeah. I thought it was Limerick City. I knew it was somewhere down there, but I think there was another one. I don't know whereabouts. But just to say, did anybody ever hear of them before? Because that's the point I was making. I never heard of them too after the election. So that's what I'm saying. So I don't know. That's what I was just asking. I just heard about it after the election. I was like, I didn't hear of that. I didn't even know there was one, to be totally honest. That's just the point I'm making. Because I think there was 2. There was one in Limerick County. I think Aaron only could be correct. But definitely in Limerick County there was. Limerick City, yeah. Well, he's that fucking long there. She's fucking ancient. So how long is he in the door? He's there. God was a awesome. He's there that long. He's giving too much hash to people. That's what he's doing. Willie O'Deed with his fucking hash. That's the problem with Willie. He's giving too much hash to people, and that's how he's getting elected. He's fucking giving hash to everybody. I don't know if anybody gets that reference. Does anybody get the reference? Because it'd be very weird if people didn't get the reference. Anybody get it? Wait, what was wrong? I didn't see your comment before that. What's happening? What do you mean, wait? You have the flu? Oh, you had the. Yeah, you didn't feel well the other night, didn't you? Um, you wasn't feeling well, if I remember correctly. When is the seventh? Sorry, seventh Sunday. Not the seventh. No, the sixth is Friday. Yeah, Friday. Um, I'm confusing myself. So it's the sixth and the seventh. The seventh particularly is a very important day. Uh, you see why I have it up on the community post. It's an important day. And then obviously the sixth is an important day too. Oh, you wouldn't. You're not registered in Donegal. You're registered in Tipperary. Oh, so you're registered the phone in Tipperary. Okay. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know myself. What's the story at the moment? The only thing we know is the girl is 8 year old. Uh, Pretty much the basic. We don't know all yet, so I don't know. We have to wait and see. Just, because I don't want to say something that's not true, especially in relation to this case. It's not. It wouldn't be appropriate to me to say something and then it's not true, especially with a young girl. It wouldn't be fair on the family to come out and say something that's not true. We have to wait and see. The rubber bandits, exactly. It was on Republican, what they call used to be an OT too. Um, it was like a sketch on OT two back in the day, like Republic, like the comedy things, whatever you got. 2 minutes behind. Jesus, 2 minutes behind. Well, do you know what? You're 2 minutes behind, so you have won the lotto. You'll be 2 minutes on foot now when you hear that. Um, I often do like click on streams and stuff, and I'll be often behind. Very woke. Excuse me. And now it's to play. Right. Okay. Fair enough. That's a that's a fair statement. So, do you hate it if you're trying to catch up on stream? No, well, like oftentimes I click, like where there's a live button on the corner, like down the corner, like it brings you straight to the bit that's live. Like oftentimes I click on the stream and it'll lag for a second or so, and then I'll be back a few minutes behind. You know. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So yeah, the seven I have. So there's going to be some word in the seven about things this week. Very important, especially next month. The seventh of next month. Well, not the seventh, but near enough the seventh. But particularly the 8th and 9th next month. It's only a month away, pretty much after the 7th. Um. So yeah, no, you see, I say it on Sunday. Um. Lowry, yeah, Michael Lowry. So he's just a Fine Gael. So he's just Fine Gael as an independent, pretty much. That's the thing. He's just he's pretty much Fine Gael independent. Um. Like that's what he is, pretty much. Like we all know what he is. Like he just every time he's never voted against Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil in his life. Like if Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael said to him, "We're going to take all your money off you," he would still vote Fianna Fáil. He still would vote in favour of them. Like he would vote in favour any all the time. It's just insane. Like, he just never voted against him in his life. $1 million question. Yes, Rubber Bandit skit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. People probably don't get it. It's that long ago, but I still remember it. It was funny enough. Like look it up later on. It's probably somewhere. It's funny enough. I've an itchy eye. I spy with my little eye. Where is this yoke? What is this song? There's that many fucking things. Hey, Vitu Alvela. Oi, Vitu. Yeah. Gives you wings, it does. Yeah, I just want to go back. This is another independent that lost his seat. And not much law for this man, but now I don't. This is to do with Carrabowie TD, Kildare South. So he was an independent TD. He was an ex-army ranger, basically. And as I said before, this account particularly, people look through this account if you ever get a chance. It talks about people that suffer chemical toxins and illness due to working in the Irish Air Corps, take example. And I've encouraged people to look at this account because the stuff the government will never talk about, and they should talk about. And Carol Bowie, particularly being a former member of the Defence Forces and the Army Ranger nonetheless, should have spoke more about this. He never talked about it. He never raised much awareness of it, particularly as some of the Sovereign Defence Forces. A lot of people that Sovereign Defence Forces don't really like him now because he didn't do really much. I know he's an independent. I know he wasn't a government minister, but pretty much he was on the same page as Fianna Fáil Fine Gael. He voted for everything Fianna Fáil Fine Gael wanted, and he never really spoke up for the members of the Defence Forces. And that's to be totally honest. That's how he lost his seat. He didn't speak up for them. He didn't speak up for the people that were in the Defence Forces. I heard him every once in a while, but it wasn't like literally questioning the government every day, particularly, especially on this issue. There's 110 people at the moment, so like have died, and some are still suffering with chemical illnesses, etc., from chemical toxins, and there's no talk about it at all. And particularly, as I say, being a former member of the Defence Force, he should have spoke out. So pretty much no loss that he lost his seat. And I would say to people, anybody that's a councillor or TD at the moment, if they are listening to this, or anybody that's going to be looking for an office, a public office, regardless if it's a council office or if it's Dáil or Shannon, whatever it may be, to please bring up this, especially because there's no talk about it now. Michael D. Higgins was sent the letter last year about it, and basically fuck all has came out of it pretty much. So it's not good enough. There's nothing been said about it. But pretty much it's another scandal that's been buried under the rug, pretty much. But yeah, no, it's something that's very important to bring up. Because it's something that is, as I say, look at that account if you have a chat tonight, Chemical Brothers, and go through it. Because it's quite shocking, some of the stuff, and especially that nobody's acknowledging it. The government are basically not acknowledging it. The opposition parties are not acknowledging it. Nobody's acknowledging it. That's the thing. And I've often said about it, and I've talked about it many times. There was one more thing, actually, just seen it. So this is to do with the United States of America. So we all know about Joe Biden, obviously, the inauguration's on January the 20th. And we're saying this, and I remember many times, no one is above the law. Joe Biden has pardoned his son, for many things. He was possession of narcotics, had a gun license without a license. Yeah, basically had a gun license without without a gun, had a gun without a license, pretty much without a federal. And that's obviously a federal crime. Um, so had a gun without a license. That's the crime. Yeah, but long story short, he said in many times, Joe Biden, that he wouldn't pardon his son, and he basically turned around to pardon his son, pretty much. There you go. And no one is above the law, unless you're Joe Biden or Israel, as I said. That's the only people that's above the law. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Wake up, Joe. Joe Biden. Wake up, Joe. Joe Biden. We'll probably be going at 9 o'clock just there. Yeah, they were good at the time, but not so much now. You probably get it. But years ago, they were funny enough. Not so much now. Yeah. It was all right back in the day. Like, it was funny enough. The stuff, it was funny enough. That's what he always say about it. Voting for Putin? Are you asking me? Voting for Biden or Putin? Joe Biden. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Tucker Carlson is in Russia, I think. I seen that earlier yesterday. I don't know why, but yeah, it's a funny one. You wouldn't get off with that nowadays. If that was on TV nowadays, the outroar that would cause. But he got away. They got away with it years ago, but they wouldn't do it now. Like no comedy would do that nowadays. No comedy would do that thing nowadays. That's why we have to show to the true Finns, like that comedy thing. But no, the last thing I show you is tonight, and it's kind of serious enough. Um, so I tried somebody from this is from the Czech Republic. This is a city in the Czech Republic. Uh, basically has pretty much been fined, for this, and it's quite vulgar thing. I'm not going to show you the email. The email is going around late to what he said to Sanna Marin when she was prime minister. It's quite vulgar, like quite literally, it's very vulgar. It's quite sickening too. And I'll show you why. It only goes into half the detail here, but it was quite sickening now. In June 2020, a man sent an email to Sanna Marin threatening the subjects of severe violence and sexual violence. In addition, threatened Marin, like particularly, this is just to say her child that was very young at the time. He threatened to, do all sorts of evil, like disgusting stuff that, like even just thinking about, for like to a child of 4 or 5 years old is disturbed, quite literally very disturbed. But yeah, so this is somebody from the Czech Republic. Basically, the only thing that happened to him, he got a €420 fine, and he has to pay €80 to a state victim thing. So there you go. That's pretty much happened. Like the interesting thing about it, it's well, not really interesting, but Sanna Marin didn't give any evidence or anything of it. So I don't think he's not going to get prison then unless he doesn't pay the fine. But she didn't really, doesn't seem like she, didn't put anything against to say that she should be put in prison for it. Like she didn't say anything about it, pretty much. The way they give a victim impact statement and stuff like that. She didn't do anything like that. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, but long story, I'm surprised she didn't give a victim impact statement because she didn't say, it upset me or upset the family or whatever. She didn't say anything pretty much about it. So pretty much she didn't. This man's going to get off scot free. But we can only hope he learned his lesson. Because particularly again, I seen the email. It's going around in the Finnish social media. It is quite vulgar. Like to say to anybody, like not even just the prime minister, just to say to a person on the street, it is very vulgar. Like especially to somebody's small child, it's extremely vulgar. Very disgusting, very depraved. Really, that's what I would describe it as because it's literally only a 4-year-old or 5-year-old child. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much happened. So yeah, from the Czech Republic, as I say. So yeah. I was not that dreaded. The language she used, I don't think anybody like literally have even said it to me. Just extremely vulgar. Like literally in intimate detail, like not just saying it in intimate detail what he would do step by step, like literally step by step what he would do. Like literally, it wasn't just like I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like in intimate detail, like quite literally the most intimate detail you could come across, and especially to a young daughter too. And obviously, what he said to Santa too was wrong, even when she was prime minister, etc., etc. But he didn't even know that. Like even just saying it to a woman on the street, or to anybody in the street, you should be arrested probably for it because it's quite disgusting. Some of the stuff he said. And to be told honest, he should probably be going to prison for a few months. To be told honest, not for a year or two, but for a few months to teach him a bit of manners because it's quite disgusting. Some of the things he said. Anyway. No, he's living in the Czech Republic. He's there. He's set it online because you know the way emails you can't. It's not boundaries or anything like that. So he lives in the Czech Republic. He's from the Czech Republic and lives in the Czech Republic. But you get what I'm saying. He's not in Finland from the Czech Republic. He's over in Czech Republic. Said in an email from the Czech Republic. It does not make any sense. So it's not that he's in Finland because he didn't even go to court because he's over into the Czech Republic. Yeah. Oh, not. I wouldn't even call it threat. Like it literally threatened. I don't even want to describe what he literally threatened to do though. That's somebody that he never met before or knew nothing about. Again, he's not even from Finland, so I don't know. I don't know. We probably just didn't. Like, there's some people. If you look on Twitter now, look at their Twitter account. There's just generally some people that don't like it because she's a woman, and they think that women shouldn't say anything or should be sitting at home and do nothing. Pretty much. There's some people like that. Like there's some very vulgar things you see under our comments and stuff like that. Particularly as a very young prime minister, etc. So a young woman. It's something that comes to the job, I suppose. But particularly very vulgar. Yeah, like he said that from the Czech Republic. He's from that area. He lives there. But he's only fined €420 plus €80. But totally honest, he should be going to prison for it. Yeah. But at least, again, if that was an Irish politician, I'm sure they would be saying to the judge, I want him prosecuted or sent to prison. So Santa Mount didn't give any, do you know the way they do an impact statement, victim impact statement or whatever? They didn't get prison because I don't think Santa Mount, wanted them ready to go to prison. I don't think she sent the letter to say he should be sent to prison, even though, in my opinion, he should have been sent for a few months. Teach him some manners because it was very vulgar. Like even if he even said it to any woman on the street, he should be picked up and simple as that. Because the way he described in intimate detail, like they wouldn't mind if he just said it, but he went it point by point by point. And I seen the email, and I won't show it because that's disgusting. Particularly in relation to a young daughter that's very young at the time. That somebody didn't even know that's not even like in the public domain, if that makes any sense. But even just to say to an older woman on the street, or even regardless of the prime minister, or regardless of the King Canute, or whoever they are, you shouldn't use that kind of language, particularly what you're going to do, etc. Yeah, pretty much that, and a few other things like very gruesome stuff too. But pretty much really, really over sexualized, extremely sexualized, pretty much I would say. But yeah, so I don't know. It doesn't know what's wrong with it, but again, there's some people like that. But it doesn't seem like he has much gripes. Like it's not like Santa Mount personally did something against him or something like that. Like personally, she went and done something to him. Like he's not even from Finland. That's what I'm trying to say. Like it would be different if, like it wouldn't justify it out. Like don't get me wrong, it wouldn't justify coming out with that kind of state. Like some of the stuff he said, it wouldn't justify it. Obviously, people can have their own opinions as well. But over that, like in literally detailed stuff, like he said, I wouldn't really blame her for going to the police about it. To be done, or her staff. I don't think it was I don't think it was her or staff that went to the police about it. But they didn't press charges pretty much. That's what I'm trying to say. They didn't. She probably could have pressed charges against him if she wanted him. So pretty much, he only got really for threatening the public official. That's really the only thing he was brought up in. So there we go. But I do think he should be sent to prison for a few months. But It's not good. But I suppose it's getting them from Czech Republic to Finland, etc., etc. Be a bit of hassle, I suppose. Oh, it's not bad, not bad. But I don't think it was any. Well, I don't know. I don't. There's not much known about the man in question, but I don't think he was that much of a threat. Like he could have. Again, there's some weird people out there that would do some weird things to people. So, yeah. It snowed again. Jesus, can you bring the snow here? It was supposed to be there's going to be snow here, so they would have the extra item, yeah. I suppose it wouldn't be worthwhile if he was only going to go for a few months because that's all he would really go for, a few months, 3 months, 4 months. That's pretty much it. He wouldn't go for a few years, anyway. He'd go for a few months and that'd be it. As long as he doesn't do anything, because I presume they would probably keep an eye on him for a while. That's what I heard. And things like that. But I presume they don't think he's a threat because if they thought he was a threat, they would send him, I'm sure, to prison. You have everybody over in your house, Tony. Chasing them out of the kitchen. Covered in snow. Oh, you were down the Craggy Island podcast. You were down that direction. But anyway, lads and lasses, is there anything else to say before we go tonight? Because I think that's all she wrote for tonight. So obviously there'll be a few videos up, but not tonight now. There's stuff to talk champagne and stuff like that about what happened. Just to say, do you know earlier on? Yeah, go ahead. I think I know what it is, but go on. You know that auditor 4440. Like I do be watching some of his videos and stuff like that. So it's quite insane that he's in the channel and watching me. Like I do watch some of his videos going into Gaudo stations, so it's interesting. I do find it interesting looking at different reactions of gals, etc., etc. Oh no. But it's interesting. Like I've just seen him in the chat earlier on, and I see him the other day too in the chat. So I'm kind of very honoured to have him in the chat. I suppose that makes it because I watch him. I watched him before he came into the chat, but you have lots to say. Well, say it. Spray it out, Tony. Then be like my tree, small tree and stuff. I know it's not the greatest thing. There has to be something okay. There was a bit more space here for things you could put the tree up, but no. Get a couple. I'm going to get a couple now just after I'm finished the stream. Take for the elections over, etc. Because it was torture. So take for that's finished and done. And finished, done, finished. The funniest thing about the last few weeks and the months, I have to probably do an update soon on the channel too. The funniest thing about it all is, with all the new people, all of a sudden the YouTube algorithm just wanted to promote me, etc., etc. Or somebody shared my video somewhere, and that's what took off. I presume that's what happened. Somebody shared my video somewhere because it doesn't seem like the YouTube algorithm. Somebody showed it to somebody, and that's what happened. I presume. But yeah, the majority of the questions were, "What's this?" Like, that's the thing. Majority of people, new people, like, "Why is this here?" You know, like, that was the majority of the questions. Not what I was saying, but what was that? Uh, no, I'm more talking about going into Gouda stations and stuff, around Gouda stations. Makes sense. Quality of sausages. That's why you should go to Finland. You can get reindeer sausages, Tony. That'll be well. That's the majority. Like, there's no other sausages but reindeer sausages. Um, that's pretty much it. There's no other sausages, really. You made the election great crack, or I tried to, anyway. So, the West hasn't fallen yet. It's not done with yet, boys. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was going to say something. I was going to say something tonight, but I don't think he's here at the moment. That's what I just said. I said something. No, I often watched him before the stream. We often talked about him before the stream, like before he came into the channel and stuff like that. But yeah, it's funny because I used to be watching. I watch it still now. Like, I'm going into Gouda station stuff. It's interesting to see the reaction because you're allowed to record in front of a Gouda station. Obviously, you can't go in behind the gates of the back of a Gouda station, but you're allowed to record at the front of. There's nothing really to stop you. In this country, or even flying a drone. As far as I know, you're not. There's nothing really to stop you. It's over military facilities more that could be an issue, really, but not really Gouda stations. They're not considered national security threats or anything like that. I understand with military barracks and stuff, you can't just fly drones around it. And there'll be a bit more icy the military police as well as in terms of cameras, etc., etc. Well, they're a lot better than, in fairness, the majority of the cases he interacted. Like, sometimes the Gaudi are tripping, but a lot of times they're not that bad compared to some of them in England. Well, straight away they have the terrorism legislation out for a camera. Straight away in England, under the terrorism legislation, we have to sort you, etc. So we have to put you in handcuffs and all that. Like, straight away in England, that's what they jump to. In Northern Ireland, too, they straight away jump to the terrorism legislation. The stop and search and stuff like that. For recording the police station, the terrorism act. That's literally all it is. That's what I was talking about. Because you watch any article in England, like, straight away the terrorism act. Because the terrorism act, they're allowed to search your phone and stuff like that, and search you, etc., etc. There's no such thing as that here, really, to stop you under the. There's no terrorist legislation. Really, not really such terrorism legislation. Yeah, there's not many Gaelic like Ireland. I think there's other places. But the majority of the time, it's not that bad a reaction compared to some place in England. Like, sometimes they are tripping. um, 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 you got a license for that. Ooh. You can't park there, so. No, I just thought it was funny because I used to watch him before he came into the channel, and I didn't want to really say anything until he's gone about it. Because when you watch people and stuff like that, it's quite an honor to have somebody like that to like watch you do. That he watching me, I suppose, too. But again, he's doing no harm, and he's just videoing. He's entitled. Like, there's no law against in this country. The only thing there's a law against if you go behind somewhere that's restricted and stuff like that, like the back of if the gate's, like, say, closed and he opens the gate or something, like, to go into the back of a Garda station, obviously not allowed to do that. But the foot of the Garda station, when it's accessible to the public, you're allowed to film as long as you want. Because it's a public building, it's a public area. The foot of the Garda station, there's nothing really anybody can do about it. unless they change the legislation, which I don't think they will because it'd be too complicated if they did change it. But yeah. Anyway, thank you, Evan. What's going to say? Bacon. No, we're not going to do any bacon. The whole place will blow up if I baked anything. On Santa's picture, no, we won't do that. I was thinking about doing it last year, but no, we're not going to do that. There'd be war if that happened. But yeah, but the last thing I say is for tonight. Let me show you just before I go. What's the story in Balamoe? What would you like to know? What's the story in Balamoe? What's the story in Balamoe? What would you like to know? Hey. We're not even going to go to the shop. That's but pretty much we know what day, like the summit. The summit, like as I say, I'd be going up on the 7th of next month. Would you believe it's nearly a month away? So this is on the 8th. So she'd be speaking on the second person to speak on day 8, pretty much. The 8th of January, pretty much. So it's going to be fucking early. I don't know. I don't know what time in the morning it is. But pretty much what I'm going to say to you, I'd be only going for this pretty much. I'm not going to be going to listen to anybody else. So pretty much I paid a huge amount of money to sit. I think I don't know whereabouts I'm sitting. So this is when me and my wife fell asleep. Me and my wife fell asleep and we're on here. Hopefully, I don't know whereabouts I'm in my seat, but I should have a good enough seat. I think I'm up this side somewhere, like up high enough so I can see. So yeah, so pretty much the Santa Mountain one's going to be packed more than the rest of them, I think. So there you go. So that's pretty much the only reason why I'll be there. I might not. I don't think she's going to be there on day 2. I don't know if she's going to be there. I think she's going to be at the CEO dinner afterwards. But I'm not going to. Obviously, I get the only Joe can't go into that. It's the speakers, etc., the elites. So I don't know. So I don't think he'll be going to day 2. I think she's only there for day 1. And then she won't be there for day 2. So I will only probably go day 1. So imagine I pay for a ticket for 2 days. I'm not going to. If she's going to be there the second day, then I will go. But if not, then I'm not going to bother going. And I would say how much it costs, not that. And then probably for the price that you think I was insane to not go the second day. So yeah, pretty much kind of like there. Yeah. I don't know, but I don't think it is, unfortunately. I don't think so. Unfortunately, I don't think so. Don't think so, unfortunately. I talk about it after January. Like there's some things I know that I can't say, I suppose, in the moment. But it's going to be tough. It's either 50-50. Either I come across in the alleyway, not in the alleyway. That sounds dangerous. In the corridors of the place. That's the only way I can probably get to it. Because obviously I'm not going to the CEO dinner and stuff like that. That's obviously true. I'm not going to the CEO dinner. So that's obvious, pretty much, that I'm not going to the dinner. So we see what happens. So we see, but I don't think I will get to meet her, unfortunately. I don't think it's likely, unfortunately. My answer. But we see how it happens. We wait and see, I suppose. But yeah, so it's going to be early enough. I don't know what time. It doesn't know except it's going to be sometime day 1. Now technically we have a hotel and everything booked, etc., etc. So pretty much it's nearly a month away, pretty much. To be totally honest, I'm not really looking. Like I'm looking forward to going to here at Sandown, but apart from that, I'm not really looking forward to going in with big suits. If that makes any sense. Because the majority of people going to this were people in big suits with big wallets, etc., etc. I never was about that. I never was about going into the 1% club. If that makes any sense. So never was really. I'm not really looking forward to that bit. Hello, Alan. How are we doing? Um, yeah, wait, that's nice. Tel Aviv and stuff. I don't think I go to Tel Aviv and stuff. But yeah, we see what happens anyway. But I don't think it's likely I meet her. It just happens to be a coincidence if I come across it, pretty much. Um, Again, as I say, I don't know if she's going to be there day two, so it's pretty much only day one. And you have to remember there's 15,000 people or something like that. No, it's 15,000. Yeah, no, not 15,000. I don't know. I can't remember how many they said was going. It's a huge amount of people. It's a convention centre. So it'll be just crowded. So it's going to be 50 million times harder to find anybody. Like in the corridors and stuff like that. So we see what happens. But not likely, so I wouldn't get anybody's hopes up for a big cameo or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just what the fun is. So that's literally a month away nearly. So I'll be going up the night of the 7th. And then it's the 8th, morning the 8th. So yeah. Who did I vote number one? You asked me who I voted number. I voted for Sarah Wiley number one. Into. Yeah, I actually have to buy new clothes and stuff like that. Yes. It's not a tuxedo now because I hate wearing suits. I never think politicians and stuff should be wearing suits, etc. But I do have to buy new clothes, and it's costing a few bob, and especially the hotel and stuff. Like altogether, it's pretty expensive. It's not cheap. Like it was nearly cheaper to go to Helsinki. Like the budget straight to you. I'm only going an hour up the road, so not the greatest, and especially because it's not that great of odds. I talk about the fetch in general. Like there's a lot I'm not saying about it. I wait until it's all said and done, and then I come out and give out about it. No, I'm not putting the Santa hat on because I generally would stand out like a sore thumb because everybody else would be wearing fucking suits with big, huge wallets coming out of the back sides. So I'm not too sure. And then Normal Foley could be there. And I don't want that. Like on Tarnish, there's going to be there, I think. Whoever's going to be the Tarnish one. See, I have to get them already. I don't have the clothes with me now. But they'll be coming soon. To a theatre near you. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, but just to say to people, it's a month away. So please say a prayer for me because I'm going to be listening to a lot of this, that, and yeah, haircut of course and shave and all that. Yes, of course there will be. Is a you can't talk about that. No, no. Well, of course. Well, not even that. All the elite will be there. Boris Johnson will be there. A lot of the members of the Oireachtas is going to be there. So I have to be careful that I don't say anything. That's the one thing. That I don't open my mouth and say something to somebody. Simon Coveney is going to be there and stuff like that. So I have to be careful. Now, the biggest worry for me is saying something. Because I'm not going to sit there and say nothing if I don't agree with what's going to be said. Like especially Simon Coveney, I have a lot to say about Simon Coveney and his little relationships with a few people that I don't agree with. So you have to be careful because I will be straight away arrested if I say anything. Because all the rest of them, like all the elite, big CEOs of banks and all that, like they're all the elite, literally, quite literally. Like no ordinary Joe is going to be there, basically. All of them with billions of euro in the bank. That's pretty much it. I don't know if it's going to be it's probably be Simon Harris. I say it'd be the tarnish them at the time. So it'd be Simon Harris, the party of new energy. I like So that's what's going to happen. So, but I'm not looking forward to that regard. To be totally honest, and I'll be straight up forward. I'd rather just be one speaker, not a big huge show about it. To be totally honest, I'm not looking forward to that bit, having to go in and hang around for a few minutes. And all that. I'm not looking forward to that. To be generally totally honest, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Sanders speaking bit, and that's about it. After that, I'm going. If she's going somewhere or something like that, I'm going after that. Just for context, yes. So yeah, but I don't think it's like. But anyway, we'll talk about it again. So I'll leave you to it because I'm here longer than should be. So yeah, thank you everyone. I'll leave you to it. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. I have to be careful what I say. Like I don't think I'm going to meet who anyway because again, there's 15,000 people going to it. Everybody's swarm hub basically. That's what I'm saying. So it's going to be too many people. Not even that too. Um, it's a long story. I get into it eventually. You understand and put the last piece of the puzzle. But anyway, leave us to it. Thank you, everyone. But we see again. It's another month away. It's not today or tomorrow, so it's another while. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and I talk to you Saturday or Friday. We see how we go. So yeah, thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your night, and goodbye.